Hi, I'm Cory Weatherton, Director of Product Development here at Jayco Motorhomes. Today I'm going to be walking through a 2026 Jayco Redhawk SE. And I want to talk about a couple of the new features we have for this model year, but also talk about what makes the Redhawk SE the Redhawk SE. First, we'll start with the chassis. This Redhawk SE is built on the Ford E350 chassis. What I love about this chassis is it has been around a long time. Ford has this thing dialed in, and they really dialed it in a couple years ago when they added the V8 engine. They went from the V10 to the V8, made it a little bit more fuel efficient. Now folks, this is a motorhome. We're not driving a hybrid or an EV, so when I say a little bit more fuel efficient, we're not talking 20, 30 miles per gallon. In this, a safe range to tell you is you're probably at about the 10, 11 miles per gallon, specifically on these SEs. They're smaller, they're lighter weight than our traditional motorhomes. And so they did improve fuel economy with that. With this chassis, it is pretty much stock Ford. Now here at Jayco, we do a couple things to enhance the ride and handling, because we know that even at this entry-level trim price point, it's still a lot of money if we're being honest. And so we want you to be able to use this thing. So even though we don't put a J-Ride sticker on it, J-Ride is our ride and handling package that we put on every motorhome, we still do two components on this. So what are we doing on this chassis? We do have the computer balanced drive shaft. We are rebalancing that tighter than Ford specs to eliminate white background noise inside of the coach as you're driving down the road. And then the second thing we're doing is adding rubber isolation mounts to the rear of this chassis. Now, every OE manufacturer, when they receive this chassis from Ford, there's going to be 4 rubber isolation mounts on each corner of the cab. Also, on the rails going back, there's 6 to 8, depending on the length of the chassis, rubber isolation mounts on those frame rails. And Ford installs those to reduce road noise and vibration. Here at Jayco, we are the only manufacturer that reinstalls those. We reinstall them because, like I said, we want you to use this thing. We want it to drive as quiet as possible in this price point. So we are reinstalling on both sides of the rear axle 4 rubber isolation mounts. And so you will experience a difference at our entry-level trim price compared to our competitors as you drive this down the road. I always encourage potential customers, take these things for test drives. You will enjoy how they drive, how they ride, how they handle. Now, I already referenced this is our entry-level trim price point. So here at Jayco, we have our Redhawk SE. We bump up to the Redhawk, the next trim level, and then we go up to the Greyhawk. I say that because a lot of times if I'm interacting with potential customers, they see the name on the side of these motorhomes and it's like, I'm not quite fully tracking with you. You know, if you buy a truck here in the United States, every manufacturer is going to name their truck a specific model, and then they have different trim levels. And so with our Class Cs as well, we have different trim levels. This Redhawk SE, we give you everything you need to have an enjoyable camping trip at the base trim level. So we've referenced the chassis, we've referenced the ride and handling. Now let's talk about what makes the Redhawk SE the Redhawk SE. First and foremost, I always have to point out the one-piece fiberglass front cap. Now, this is intentional. We do that on purpose. On this motorhome, as well as all the way up to our Seneca Prestige, that's our top-of-the-line Super C that we build. This is the single most expensive component we put on any of our Class Cs, and we do that to protect your investment. The bunk platform comes all the way over to the edge. The sidewall comes down and meets that bunk platform, and that creates a seam right along here, a horizontal seam. That is the #1 leak point on any Class C, water infiltration. And so every manufacturer knows that, but here at Jayco, we're the only ones who do anything about it. The structure's there, this one-piece fiberglass cap slides on, and it protects that seam. That's very important because it does protect your investment for the long-term ownership of this coach, because when water gets into the coach, your investment's shot at that point. So one-piece fiberglass front cap, I have to point that out to you because it's very important. Another thing that we're doing here at Jayco is the 2+3 warranty. That's a 2-year limited warranty plus a 3-year structural warranty. That limited warranty is limited by 24,000 miles, customer neglect, or if you're to use this as a rental. So you're renting it out and letting not just your family members, but some guy across the country coming and using this thing. We don't know how that thing is going to be used when it's outside of your care, because obviously if you own this, you're going to treat it differently than if you're renting it. And so that's what it's limited by. Now the structural warranty covers the walls, the roof, the floor, really the sandwich of the structure. So when I say the sandwich of the structure, these walls, roof, floor, they're all vacuum bonded, vacuum laminated. That means that we spread adhesive on every layer of the wall substrate, roof substrate, floor, even slide out end walls. We're vacuum bonding those. We send them into a vacuum press, and it has 144 tons of pressure per square inch, and we leave it in there for about 16 to 18 minutes. And we do that so that we get a solid bond across the whole wall of this motorhome or whatever we're laminating. Now, the key thing to note here at Jayco, anywhere we have a window cutout, we do a delamination test. We cut the windows out after the wall's been laminated. We send the cutout into a machine, and the machine pulls the components apart that make up the wall. Our goal is to see component shredding versus clean separation. If it's a clean separation, that means the lamination process was not good, and then we scrap the whole wall. The key thing to note at Jayco is that we have our own lamination facility, and we have ever since I've worked here. I've been here for 9 years now, and it's temperature controlled, humidity controlled, and so year round we're getting an incredible lamination process, because here in northern Indiana, summers are very hot and very humid. Winters are cold and very dry. So year round we're getting the exact same lamination regardless of the outside temperature and even humidity. So that's a key thing to note with us. So we're doing a delam test on everything just to make sure that our lamination has been solid. Now, something we cannot see is the roof of this motorhome, and we're not going to climb up there, but what's on the roof? Fair question. On the roof, there is an antenna for your local channels, over-the-air television channels. On the roof as well, there is a 13,500 BTU air conditioner, and then also your skylights. Now on some coaches, well, honestly, a lot of dealers are optioning it in this way from us. You're gonna find a 200 watt solar panel on the roof with a dual controller. That dual controller will send power to your house batteries and then also your chassis battery to keep them topped off. Now the key thing to note about 200 watts of power is that it's not a whole house array that folks live off grid. You know, a lot of times you'll see, could be on social media, could be on your Google feed, advertisements for turning your house into a solar house. And that's your off-grid, that's your power supply. Folks, there are thousands of watts of solar panels that go into massive, massive battery banks to be able to run that whole house. With motorhomes and even travel trailers, fifth wheels that we build here on campus, 200 watts of solar is essentially a trickle charger to maintain your batteries. It prevents premature wear on those batteries and having to replace them so frequently. So like I said, a lot of dealers are optioning them that way. I think it's a great option because when this unit is not in use, my batteries are not naturally depleting themselves through parasitic draw, rather they're staying topped off, and it extends the life of this coach batteries and also the chassis battery. So I want to point that out to you. Moving back to coach, we do have propane in this door. I'm not going to open it. We do have a 30,000 BTU furnace inside of this coach that runs off of propane. And then behind me is a 6-gallon gas electric hot water heater. It'll run off of propane or it'll run off of electricity. 6-gallon, and the key thing is if I use both electricity and also propane, this will replenish itself about 3 times in an hour. So if I'm camping, I get about 18 gallons of hot water per hour, which if you're camping, that's a lot of water usage. So it's more than what most folks will use, because obviously as you go camping, it's not like at home. You're gonna wanna conserve your freshwater tank and also keep your gray water free as much as possible. Now, if you're on a full hookup site at a campgrounds, really that's where your 18 gallons per hour come into play. You'll notice above me there is a full-length awning on this side of the coach. What I love about this is on these shorter coaches, a lot of times some manufacturers will do a shorter awning to save money. We're going pretty much the full length of this coach so that as I'm out here, I'm able to enjoy my picnic table, I'm able to enjoy the campfire, and also we have LED integrated lights into that. So at night it's nice, either A, directional lighting, or B, just mood lighting for the campsite. Coming back further, we do have a storage bin here. You'll notice that this is a smaller one. We have external coax TV hookup, 120 volt outlet, and then you'll also know that this is where this coach has not been optioned with solar, and so this is where the wires will be run from the solar panels. We do prep it into the house controller. So that's where this section is, and then you can put your nice your toolbox and tools up above if you'd like. Coming back, we have one more storage bay. This one is very clearly the place where you're going to be putting a lot of your larger outside camp items. Now below, you will notice that we do have the LP Quick Connect for your gas grill. What I love about this gas grill, gas griddle, is that if your camping trip does include fishing, it does include morning bacon, it does include anything that emits a lot of odor when you make it, you don't have to be inside of your coach and fill the coach with that smell. You can cook outside with your hose underneath the awning and have a dry, comfortable place to do your cooking. Let's go around to the back of the coach. As we're going to the back, I want to point out our square bumper here on the rear. It's a small thing, but I still want to point it out. These end caps remove, so you can put your sewer hose inside of that. We have a demo fleet here at Jayco that our employees get to use. Great location for it. I love it when I go camping, just to be able to put it in there and keep my storage bays open and not have to worry about the hose getting messy, whatever I'm putting in that storage bay, and then also just having the space for that storage. We do have a third brake light overhead. The third brake light is really a Jayco deal. We do that specifically for safety purposes. At Jayco, we are always putting the customer's safety first. With that, we know that at times your lower brake lights could be covered. If you're flat towing a car, you could be pulling a horse trailer, it doesn't matter. We know that at times these will be covered, and so we add that third brake light overhead so whoever's traveling behind you will be able to stop in time and there's not an accident on the road. Also, right below that third brake light, there is a rear backup camera. That rear backup camera can be used as a backup camera. It is in a where your rear view mirror would be. We remove that and we put a digital screen up there. Or you can not only use it as a backup camera, but you can watch what you're towing all the time if you'd like to. All of our SEs have a 5,000 pound hitch with a 500 pound tongue weight rating. Now, as I talked about the different trim levels, that's one of the things that separates the Redhawk SE from the Redhawk. The Redhawk has a 7,500 pound tow capacity with a 750 pound tongue weight rating. So on this entry level trim, we do give you what you need. So that's the difference. Talking about that truck experience earlier, trucks have different trim levels. I have all my needs in the work truck, but maybe I want something a little nicer so I could go up to the LT, LTZ, high country, fill in the blank. With this, maybe you need more towing capacity. At that point, you need to bump up to the Redhawk trim level. This is going to be where I'm filling up my fuel tank. This takes obviously unleaded fuel as it states. If you can't read, I just communicated that for you, but I know you all can. Just wanted to say regular fuel. And we do have a nice storage area back in this compartment. Also, you'll find our water controls on the side of this storage compartment, as well as your black and gray tank dump down below. This floor plan is our 22 CF, so you'll notice that we do have a bed slide in this. It's on your off camp side, leaving your campsite very clean. We are putting our 30 amp power cord in this compartment. Normally that's locked. I unlocked it for the sake of this video. We do have our city water connection, our black tank flush. What I like about these is they are on the side of the coach, and so I don't have to fish a water hose up into my wet bay area. Rather, I can just directly connect it here. Very easy. Black tank flush, if you're unfamiliar with that. Black tank is specifically for your toilet. Obviously, there's debris that goes into your toilet. The black tank flush helps spray that out and then clean out your black tanks easier when you're dumping. Behind me, we do have an exterior shower, showering off the dog if it was in the mud or your feet if they were in the sand. Very nice to be able to just keep the inside of your coach cleaner. Down below, one more storage bay on this side. There again, it's a generous size for a coach that is 24 feet 8 inches long. And then we have our 4,000 watt generator right behind me. So this has been a walk around to the outside of the coach. Let's go inside and check it out. Alrighty, so we are inside of this Redhawk SE 22 CF floor plan. And folks, there's a lot to like about this. First, I want to cover some of the new things for this model year. New for this model year, we did change flooring, changed manufacturers, but then also changed colors. Now this is a thicker flooring than what we've used in the past on this. I think our design team has done a beautiful job with it, and so you're going to surely love this. Also new for this model year is we changed our wallboard color. Now what in the world is wallboard? If you don't know what that is, the wallboard is essentially your outer layer of your inner wall. And so we did change to a lighter color to make it feel more open on the inside. There's also a light gray cross-hatching in it. Cross-hatching, I think, is the word I want to use. I'm not an interior decor person, but I would call that a light gray cross-hatching. And then finally new for this model year is we've added 12-volt tank pad heaters to this coach. So what's a 12-volt tank pad heater? Why would I be interested in wanting that? Like I said, we are in northern Indiana here at the factory, and we do have the demo fleet. So if my family's taking this down to Florida over spring break, the weather up north in Indiana, even at spring break, it can be kind of variable. We don't know what we're gonna get. And so I'm vacationing down in Florida, have a great time. I start driving back. Maybe I hit Tennessee, Kentucky, southern Indiana, and all of a sudden a cold spell comes through and the temperature is gonna get down below freezing. At that point, I'm gonna turn on my 12-volt tank pad heaters to keep those tanks flowing freely and sloshing around. Now the key thing is that that's kind of an emergency use scenario. It's not that I can go up into Saskatoon, Saskatchewan camping in January. Why is that? Because everything will freeze up. This is not a Four Seasons coach. We would not market anything we sell as Four Seasons just simply because everything is subjective. Four Seasons is even subjective. So with that, we are adding 12-volt tank pad heaters to this unit for those scenarios where you find yourself in inclement weather and maybe you need to get home or maybe you need to get down south in the wintertime. That's what that's for. So that's been added for this model year. So inside the coach, let's talk about some of the features. We have our front overhead bunk rated at 750 pounds. Will 750 pounds ever be up there? Probably not, I don't know, but at the same time we rated it that, and that's one of the things that I would say is a great example of how we're able to do a 2-year warranty here at Jayco when everybody else in the industry is a 1-year warranty, because we over-engineer. And with that, the industry average on front overhead bunks is around 425, 450. So we are almost doubling that, and thus the 2-year warranty. It gives you a peace of mind that we're gonna stand with you for 2 complete camping seasons and 750-pound front overhead bunk. You'll also notice everything behind me, as I mentioned, except for that rear view mirror, is Ford stock. And so that rear view mirror is aftermarket that we install, and that is for your rear view camera or also to watch that trailer as you're towing it. You're going to notice that inside of this 24-foot 8-inch floor plan, it feels very spacious. It is a shorter unit. We do have one slide, as I mentioned, on the outside, the bedroom slide, but it feels spacious because of the large windows we're installing. So notice here at the dinette, we do have the window shade closed for filming purposes, but this is a very large window. So could be as you're traveling down the road, could be as you're at your campsite, having your morning coffee, just a beautiful opportunity for you to look out that window and enjoy the locations you are, because really that's why we go camping, right? We don't do it to stay inside of a motorhome. We go to experience the beauty of this world, and so we're installing large windows so that we let a lot of light in and you're also able to see that beauty. Now, talking about the dinette, with Jayco, it is unique. We are unique as a manufacturer. We put a seat belt in every seating position. And so this coach, we have 2 seat belts, 4 seat belts, 6 seat belts. This coach will probably sleep 4 to 5 at the most. But quite honestly, you get 5 people in here, it's gonna feel a little tight. But we're always having enough seat belts for those sleeping positions. Now this dinette table mechanism, this is a Jayco exclusive. What I love about this is it's very strong, it's supportive. There's not a lever that you need to twist underneath to push it down and then lift it back up. Problem with that type of a table is that over time, it starts to get sloppy. We used to use those probably 6 years ago, time flies. I would be sitting in a unit and I'd put my elbow on the table and the table would drop about an inch. With this one, it's very secure. To turn it into a bed, I simply lift it up and then pivot it down. There's a gas piston on the other end, a gas strut. I have to work through that, and then there again to reattach it, I just lift it up, and then there's a nice little slot that slides into. One thing to note on our SEs, we get this question once in a while. In our dinettes, we do not have any child seat tethers. Now, there again, as I mentioned, the different trim levels. If you require child tethers, you have to bump up to a Redhawk at that point. But our Redhawk SEs, 6 seat belts in this floor plan, so 2 in every dinette booth. Those are pull tested. The government sets a standard that we have to adhere to. So that seatbelt mechanism, the seatbelt itself, the bracket mounting into the floor needs to withstand 10,000 pounds of pull for 60 seconds. And so we go through pull testing on all of this stuff. So very secure, very easy to travel down the road in this unit and really go to game tailgating or to your campsite with a small group of people. This has been a look at the front of the coach. Let's flip position so you can see the back. So in the back of the 22CF, first I want to talk about our control panel. Most of our Class Cs, you'll find this control panel in this location. It may look differently depending on what floor plan or series you're in, but on this control panel, you're going to be able to control your slides, your 4,000 watt generator start-stop, which is plumbed to this chassis, and then also your tank and battery readouts. And then down below, we have water pump, we have our 12 volt tank pad heaters, and then also being able to control your hot water, whether you're utilizing electric or propane, or even electric and propane. But you'll notice 24 feet, 8 inches, a large kitchen space. It has a 2-burner cooktop. This is run off of propane. Has a nice round single basin sink bowl, and then a nice metal gooseneck faucet to be able to fill those taller stock pots if you're making spaghetti, or if you're making Campbell's soup, you need to add water. I don't know what you do. But for me, it's the taller pots, being able to add water for that hot chocolate at night. Overhead cabinet space. You will notice that we have a nice space up here for your cups and your plates. Down below, we do have a storage area for the trash can. 3 medium-sized drawers, and then a large drawer where your pots and pans would be. Overhead, we do have a convection microwave oven. What I love about convection microwave ovens is when I'm using it, I'm not emitting a lot of heat inside of here. That loud drawer that I just opened, that does have currently the microwave glass spin plate in it, as well as a metal wire, or excuse me, a wire rack for the microwave oven. But if we had an oven down here, you'd lose that storage. A lot of folks use their oven anyways for storage. We're giving you a drawer for storage, and then also this convection microwave oven, which evenly heats all the way around your food. So it's not just a single heating element down below, providing heat to one area. So you throw a frozen pizza in a RV oven, oftentimes it's not going to cook evenly. With this, it will bake evenly because of that convection aspect in it. I already mentioned overhead. We have that 13,500 BTU air conditioner sitting on top of a PVC roof. PVC is new as of late model year 25. And we changed to that because it does have a longer warranty. The PVC roof from Jayco is a 20-year warranty. Also, it reflects the sun's UV rays a little bit better than what the old TPO roofs would do. So that's new for this year as well. Over the dinette, a lot of storage up here. You'll notice that there is a complete pass-through up and down this, so you could put longer items up there if you'd like to, but a lot of storage for your overhead, for games, for electronics, etc. Moving back, we do have a nice pantry in this hallway area. This pantry does give you a lot of opportunity to put your canned goods or even your dry box goods. Maybe you travel light as it pertains to food. You can also use this as random storage as well. Behind me, we have an 8 cubic foot 12 volt refrigerator. What I love about this refrigerator, being that it's 12 volts, is that it cools down very quickly. We switched to this a couple years ago, and I know my camping experience has been enhanced by this because when we used to do the propane refrigerators, I would have to start cooling it down about 24 hours before I traveled. Now I start cooling it down probably a couple hours only before I start adding food into that. and so it really cools down quickly and is very efficient. That's going to run off of your house battery since it is 12 volt. Coming back into the bathroom, I won't go in there. You can feel free to take a peek in there, but above the lav base, we do have a nice medicine cabinet with 3 shelves in it. We added a shelf in late model year 25 to make it more usable. A nice foot flush toilet, and then storage down below your lav sink. You'll notice also inside of there that there is a brushed stainless steel sink. It's not plastic like you're going to find potentially in travel trailers or other entry-level motorhomes, but everything in there is going to be metal. And then a nice size shower area for you. Also a 12 volt fan overhead to be able to exhaust that hot steam from your shower. Now coming back into the bedroom, we do have a nice size wardrobe, very large size wardrobe for this size of coach. I say very large because as I look at it, I don't have the exact measurements, but you're probably pretty close to 2 feet by 2.5 feet or so, very large. A lot of room for shoe storage in there, or even your blankets, and then 2 drawers down below your wardrobe. You'll notice that we do have a queen size walk around bed back in this bedroom with 120 volt outlets on each side of your bed, and then nice overhead storage for your extra pillows, for your blankets, for your clothes even. Also in the bedroom here, we have another 12 volt exhaust fan overhead. I know when I go camping, I like to leave that turned on just to be able to keep the air fresh on the inside. So I'll open up a window, turn on that exhaust fan, and then be able to just keep air circulating versus waking up in the morning and being a little bit humid in here from just our natural breathing creating humidity. At the foot of the bed, we do prep for a television. Now we don't option a television on our SEs. Quite honestly, the take rate on that would be very low, and so that's just why we don't option it. But we know some of you would like to have a television in here as you're preparing for bed to be able to unwind, or maybe during the day having the kids take a nap back here and putting on cartoons ahead of time. We do prep for that. You'll notice we have a coax connection and then also 120 volt connection there. So this has been really a great floor plan for us ever since we started building it a number of years ago. What folks love about it is it's very compact, very nimble, easy to maneuver, but also that it does feel spacious for such a small motorhome. So if you have any questions at all on this motorhome, feel free to contact your local dealer. If you don't know who your local dealer is, go to our website at jayco.com, and we do have a dealer locator. Feel free to call that dealer, ask anything about this motorhome that you would like to ask, and then also get down, put your hands on it. And like I said, take this thing for a drive, because you will notice the difference between a Jayco and the competition. By chance, if you don't have a local dealer that's super close to you, or maybe you'd rather just call the factory, call our 1-800 number and ask if you can speak with a regional sales manager. The individual who answers the phone will ask what state or province you're from, and then also what product you're interested in, and then they will connect you to a regional sales manager. Our regional sales managers, in my opinion, they are top-notch. They are some of the best in the industry. They know a lot about our product. If by chance you do stump them, they have direct access to our engineers, to production, to even purchasing. We can get you answers to any questions that you do have. If you want specs on this motorhome, as far as tank sizes, as far as your propane size, etc., that is listed on our website under the Jayco Redhawk SE product page. You'll be able to find all of that stuff. But I want to thank you for taking time to watch this video today. I know it did occupy a little bit of your time, but hopefully we're able to answer a lot of questions for you and be able to get a good feel for this motorhome. Again, Cory Weatherton, Director of Product Development here at Jayco. Thanks for watching this. Get out to your local dealer, check out this unit, and get camping this fall.